All right, all right, all right. Sorry for the wait for those who have been on the live stream, but welcome to day 3 of Youth Power PDX's Speak Up, Sing Out fall series. My name is Blaine. My pronouns are they, them, and I will be your host for this afternoon segment. First up, we have May Anna. May, do you want to introduce yourself?
Sure. Hi, I'm Mayanna. I'm a senior at Grant High School, and I just, I play my guitar and I have a lot of fun. If you enjoy this, you can find me on Instagram at MeiAPDX, MEIAPDX. Yeah, oops. So check me out there. Am I good to go ahead?
Yeah. Play your set, and then I'll ask you a couple questions at the end of your performance, and that'll be it. Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. This is really cool. This whole event that you guys have. All right. This first one is called Almost. It's about two kids sitting on a roof in the snow looking at the northern lights. We sat staring at the stars one night, but instead of the sky, I was trying to see through your eyes. Oh, your eyes. Heartbeat slamming as I slid to the right, and in a moment of truth, I poured my heart out in front of your eyes. Bluish eyes. I would walk around the world and then maybe, just maybe, you look me in the eyes. I would walk around the world for you, baby, my baby girl. Will you look me in the eyes? We were staring at the stars one night when I told you I loved you, and I saw as you smiled at me it was alright. And the lights, you were standing looking out in the night. When I came back around, I just knew I was found. You had that look in your eye, filled with light. I would walk around the world and then maybe, just maybe, you'd look me in the eyes. I would walk around the world for you, baby, my baby girl. Will you look me in the eyes? I sit back and name the stars with you, baby. Then maybe we'd look up and see the lights. Cold night, and then suddenly all we can see is light. The northern lights. Then you looked me in the eyes. Thank you again. That was Almost. This next one, maybe some of you know it. I don't know. If perhaps you've seen the movie Frozen, you've heard it. Well, the second movie, Frozen 2. This was kind of the big song from that movie. Not the big song. Anyway, I love it, and the vibes are so good. It's, you know, seasonal and so pretty. This is All Is Found. Where the north wind meets the sea, there's a river full of memory. Sleep, my darling, safe and sound. For in this river all is found. All is found. When all is lost, then all is found. In her waters, deep and true, lie the answers and a path for you. Dive down deep into her sound, but not too far or you'll be drowned. Yes, she will sing to those who hear, and in her song all magic flows. But can you brave what you most fear? Can you face what the river knows? Where the north wind meets the sea, there's a river full of memory. Sleep, my darling, safe and sound. For in this river all is found. Until the river's finally crossed, you'll never feel the solid ground. You'll have to get a little lost on your way to being found. Where the north wind meets the sea, there's a mother full of memory. Come, my darling, homeward bound. Where all is lost, then all is found. All is found. All is found. Thank you. Yikes. All right. I have one more for you all. It's another original. The song is called Light. It's about a year old now. That's kind of why I've been playing it recently. I wrote it last December. And I don't know, it's not really seasonal, but it sort of always reminds me of this time of year and of December. So this is Light. In the darkness, the fire may be blazing, but darling, just look in my eyes. Couple hundred voices surround us. We pay them no mind. Seasons changed, colored leaves linger, keeping evening at bay. And I pray, love, protect me. I pray, love, you'll stay. You were warm, sun and autumn, and cold winter skies. You're the wild flowers of springtime and sweet summer sighs. So sing me to sunshine, sing me through rain, sing with me all the songs that sing again. Sing me my refuge from depths of the mind, and kiss me just once before you sing me to life. Hear your voice, lover, you're frozen. Oh, lover, you're cold. I say, lover, come warm me. You're so lovely to hold, and don't let me lose you. I don't want things to change. The future, as always, looks so frightening and strange. When I met you, life's colors turn so vibrant and bold. When I see you, what's coming does not seem so cold. So sing me to sunshine, sing me through rain, sing with me all the songs that will not sing again. Sing me my refuge from depths of the mind, and kiss me just once before you sing me to life. I wonder, what will the sun bring? I ask my lover, my friend, what will winter, sleet, snow, and rain bring? What will the wind and peace, hope, love, and balance? I reach for the future inside, for with you changing tides cannot rock me, and with you I feel alive. Thank you. Those were my three. My name is May Anna. Again, you can find me on Instagram and SoundCloud and Bandcamp, MEIA PDX, or May Anna, MEIANNA. Yeah, I've got links on Instagram if you enjoyed. Cool. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for being here, May. Do you
Absolutely.
mind answering a couple questions before you go?
Yeah, of course.
All right. What's kind of your background as a youth artist? Like for you, I guess it would be with music.
Oh my gosh. I would say like the biggest thing. I took lessons and was part of a band at Ethos Music Center in North Portland. It's actually just a couple blocks from my house. And so that kind of is like the basis of everything. I took lessons both at Ethos and then at Montevilla Guitar Studios in Southeast. So like those people and those lessons and just being around kind of that music community um, is just that has kind of been everything for me.
Fantastic. And what does intersectional youth power mean to you?
I love this question. We kind of go through this with each of these gigs that I've done, but I just think that it means like young people from lots of different backgrounds, not necessarily like race, but also like like everywhere, like where they live in Portland, where what how they grew up, all of that stuff. Young people from a lot of different backgrounds coming together and empowering each other, like us making music together or creating art together. I think it's just different young people empowering each other, and I think it's a really cool thing.
That's beautiful. Thank you. I definitely love hearing all the answers to that question. and yeah, how widely they can vary. I think it's super cool. Alrighty. Once again, this has been May Anna. They've given you their socials, where to find them, their music. Once again, my name is Blaine, and we'll be back in around 10 minutes with our next segment, which will be a panel with the Morpheus Youth Project. Thank you all so much.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me.
All right. And we are back. Okay, welcome all for the second part of the Youth Power PDX. Welcome all for the second part of the Youth Power PDX Speak Up, Sing Out Fall Series, third day. My name is Blaine. My pronouns are they, them, and I will be one of your hosts for this afternoon. Let's see. I will also be joined by Sadie.
Hi, my name is Sadie. My pronouns are she or they, and I am kind of co-hosting this. So yeah.
Fantastic. And we're joined here today by some youth from the Morpheus Youth Project. And yeah, really excited to get started and have some cool conversations. Okay, without further ado, I think we'll get into some introductions. So for the youth that we have here today, what are your names, pronouns, and something that you're passionate about? Could be anything. Let's see.
I got it. It was my mute button. That's like what is it? That's like the 2020 thing right there, right? Everybody having to get them unmuted. My name's Carlos. He, his. I run Morpheus Youth Project, and yeah, I'm the one that invited some of the folks here, some of the young artists that are going to be involved with the conversation. So that's me.
My name's Ezequiel Vasquez. I'm an executive assistant for Morpheus Youth Project. I was a former participant of MYP at McLaren. My pronouns is he, him. And what else was it?
I don't know
What are you passionate about, right?
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm passionate about culture and using that as treatment, using culture as treatment.
Fantastic. Thank you so much.
Go ahead, guys. We'll let the Dunes guys go next.
All right. Boulder, Minnesota. So my name is Marco Acosta. My pronouns are he, his, and I've been part of the Morpheus Youth Project for about 3.5 years since I've been here at McLaren, almost 4 years. My passion, I'm very passionate about art, pretty much all forms of art. So thank you. My name is Blue. My pronouns are he or him. And I've been doing a lot of music type of stuff with Carlos lately. Playing as a band, learning how to write music, that kind of thing. And I guess that's really my main passion.
Got a couple other guys too. Jose, I'll let you go next.
How you guys doing? My name is Jose Ruiz. My pronouns are he, him. I've been a part of Morpheus Youth Project for maybe almost 3 years now, but I've known Carlos since I was probably 14.
And we got one more guy on. There he is, our dude Ivan.
Hi, my name is Ivan, and I go by he, his, and I work with Carlos, and I'm passionate about graffiti.
Fantastic. I think that's just about everyone. Thank you so much for being here. This panel is going to be a little bit different from the other ones so far. I think the folks we have here today have kind of come here like prepared with stories that they want to share. So Carlos and Ezekiel, do you guys want to kick it off?
Yeah, sure. I can. I don't know if you want to know anything about MYP, but just for folks that don't know who Morpheus Youth Project is, it's a youth-based or young artist-based organization that started in 2011. We became a full-blown nonprofit in 2015 as a 501c3, and our focus is to basically create community all along the path of the school to prison pipeline, working with communities that have been underserved. So we spend a lot of time in Outer East Portland and Gresham, and even in other places. We've been out. We've done some stuff in Washington County, Clackamas County, and we do a lot of work at McLaren Youth Correctional Facility. So we use the arts and culture as a way to connect and to connect with the young people that we work with, but also to connect those folks with each other and just like the broader community. And so we do a whole host of different things that range from, individual like one-off workshops and lectures and, presentations to just ongoing workshops, events like breaking competitions, dance showcases, art shows, mural projects, and really we work within youth corrections and also out in the community. So the idea is to build connections with folks and basically kind of build a little community, like a family basically of our own as we go. So the folks that I invited today, I wanted to invite, I wanted to have more females on as well, but unfortunately the females that I invited were unable to attend today. They're working, they're trying to get that holiday money, and we just happen to be available. So everybody that I invited is kind of for a different reason. Ezekiel will have a chance to kind of talk about joining, moving from a participant of MYP into actually now working for MYP in a really important role, and he'll get a chance to talk about what he's doing with MYP moving forward. We got Ivan is a young artist that I'm working with. He's just been really enthusiastic about art and really consistent with me and building, developing skills around graffiti art. So he's gotten a chance to kind of get a little bit of a taste of what doing some of the murals looks like, and so we'll talk a little bit about that. Jose is somebody who initially started off as a participant, and he's kind of worked into more of a different, like he's actually it's kind of a mixture of participant, mentor, and even like, he and I just recently coordinated a mural project together, our first mural project together, where he basically kind of took the lead on it. So we also have done art shows together, and we've gotten to know each other throughout the years, so we've grown pretty close. And then we got Marco and Blue over there at McLaren Youth Corrections. I always want to take advantage of opportunities like this to connect the community with our guys out there, let them know what they're up to, and give them a chance to kind of speak on things that are happening, so obviously they'll be able to speak on what we've been doing in the art world and in the music world there. But I just think it's an important voice for everybody to connect with. We got to keep our communities connected. So I don't know who you want to start off with, but that's MYP in a nutshell. And if you got any projects in particular that you wanted to, any of us to talk about, we can kind of jump on that for you.
Yeah. Also, I want to correct myself. I said youth earlier, and I know y'all today wanted to be identified as young artists. So, young artists. We got some
Yeah.
young artists here
Well, I
today.
mean, the whole idea around that, just to kind of explain that a little further, is I think, in the past, using the name Morpheus Youth Project, obviously we're working with youth. We start, it's any, I mean, we've worked with kids as young as 5 years old, uh, all the way, but we focus primarily like on teens and folks in their early 20s. Those are really just those important kind of adolescent and post-adolescent developmental stages. But we want to honor folks that are, I mean, I'm not going to call Marco and Blue a youth, just for the simple fact that these are young men. They've and Ezekiel, they're young men. But to take that even a step further, these are young men that are serving sentences as adults. So I don't want to belittle who they are. Or I mean, it's not belittling to call people youth, but I mean, how do you call somebody a youth when they're doing an adult's? They're being sentenced as an adult. They're being treated as an adult in the within the system of the state and the federal government. So I just want to give them a little bit of respect in that realm.
For sure. Thank you so much. All right. So one of the things it looks like we were gonna talk about today that I thought maybe we could start off with, Ezekiel, do you want to tell your story or some of what you've been up to? Is that cool with you?
Yeah, that's fine. Well, my name is Ezekiel. I was incarcerated for 9 years on a Measure 11 case. I was recently released last month in November, and for over a month now I've been working with Carlos. So I was really involved with all the workshops through Hope Partnership, which contracted MYP to come into the facility and run these art workshops, these art-based programs. And we did anything from cultural education about like Chicano history to doing graffiti, but also like using radio equipment. And that's one of the first groups that I really got involved with. It was called radio journalism. So we learned about the school to prison pipeline, and we were able to be on the air ourselves, be able to be on cable and talk about our experiences with the school system and how that kind of led into our incarceration, and just talking about a whole lot. So for me, it was really empowering that my voice was getting heard, and there was community members coming in to the facility and supporting us, and that was really awesome. And I kind of just got invested of just keep going to group, stay off of the unit and do something productive with my time and engage in some positivity. And like Carlos was saying, Morpheus is like a little family. It's like a little community. So like the guys that are at Dunes right now, like Marco and Blue, they know like a lot of us go to these spaces, to have a creative outlet, somewhere to gather, outside than just doing the normal routine of being locked up. So for me, like I already knew that Morpheus and Carlos specifically helped me a lot to become the young person I am today. And he taught me a lot about my culture too. And so now that I'm out, working with Carlos, well, first as executive assistant, helping with tracking and stuff like that, and the services we're offering, but also creating programming. So while I was incarcerated, I used to be part of the traditional Aztec group that we have in there called Yanquicolli, which means new road. And for me, culture is a big part of who I am, and it's a strong part of my identity today. So breaking comes from a lot of the break dancing, b-boys from back in the day. A lot of the moves come from indigenous dances. So they already had that kind of connection, but I wanted to bring something more specific for the Latino population that we're serving out here in East Monoma County. So I'm creating a curriculum, a program to have workshops with youth out in East Portland, at alternative high schools, or continue to go back into McLaren hopefully soon to run these workshops and teach kids about their basic culture, about the Aztec culture, basic knowledge, like having them participate in ceremony, find out the tonali, like their birth names, their birth year, so they get a strong connection of who they are through their ancestors. For me, NYP is about giving kids alternatives, you know, and that's what I want to do. I want to help contribute to what NYP has been doing for several years, not only just in McLaren but out in the community. And right now, that's my role, and NYP is pretty dope.
I think so, anyways.
Yeah, me too.
That's big. Thank you. All right. Moving forward, Ivan, is it okay if we jump to you?
Yeah, it's okay. Like, what do you want to talk about specifically?
Yeah. So you said earlier you're passionate about graffiti. Do you want to tell us a little bit about your art or like what you're doing?
What I'm doing right now is I'm working with Carlos, and he's teaching me about graffiti. Because I liked art before, and like I found him and he helped me out, because before when I was doing this, I was doing like a little bit of bad things, but he helped me out, and now like I'm passionate about graffiti. So now instead of wasting my time and go do something else, I sit down and do a little bit of graffiti, and he teaches me some things, and I like, and like right now, I'm getting the hang of it really good, and I'm sketching a lot.
Rad. That's really rad.
Yeah, Ivan's a guy that we're really proud of. It's a trip. I'm just gonna add to it. I hope you don't mind. I met him. We were doing a workshop through Latino Network, and that's how I got put in contact with Ivan. And I remember at first I could tell he was a little bit hesitant about kind of like what was going on, because we were doing remote workshops and we were teaching graffiti art through it, and I was basically just showing like how to construct the letters, you know, they call it letter construction, you know, fundamentals to putting the lettering styles together, colors and that. And it took like just a couple tries, you know. We had a couple sessions, and then pretty soon Ivan and I kind of kicked it off, you know. And then I found out that also our guy Jose had a relationship with him too. And I don't know, I was mentioning, oh man, I got this guy Ivan who's been on with us, you know, with doing the graffiti workshops, and seems like he's really getting into it, and he's really excited about it, you know. And Jose's like, he's like, Ivan, he's like, you talking about Ivan Sanchez? He's like, man, I know who you're talking about. That's my guy right there, you know. So it's kind of funny how these communities kind of circle around in certain ways. And so, but it's just one of those things that lets me know that the right folks are taking part in what's happening. You know, it's like the universe telling me, like, all right, you know, we're connecting with the right folks, you know. So Ivan's had a chance to we've done a little bit of art out in the community, you know. So we did a small little mural project out by Latino Network's East County building. And then we also did one, or East Portland building. And then we did, he helped us a little bit on our downtown mural that we're involved in. But he and I jump on, and, you know, we've just been building a connection, and I just got a lot of, I just know that Ivan is prepping for some big things. So I'm excited for him to be, you know, become part of our one of our participants, but I know he's going to be one of our team. So.
Rad. Yeah, and I was just talking in the last panel I did. Some of these same ideas got brought up, like connection through art in communities, and the way that like comes full circle. Super cool.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, all
it's
right.
It's the glue for a lot of things, you know. It's the glue for a lot of things. It's like, it's a good way to connect with these young people when we're trying to get them engaged and try to build those communities. It's a good way to break the ice. It's a good way to keep the connections going. We've even been able to put money in people's hands, you know, so it's been a cool all the way around.
Yeah, so you talked a little bit, I think multiple of y'all, about a downtown mural project. What are some of the recent murals and projects Morpheus have done, and who here has been involved with those?
I think, well, Ivan's had a little taste of that, but Jose for sure, with the two mural projects that we did this year, which I'm real proud of. He played a real intricate role in both of those.
Can I just ask, I was wondering, like, Ivan, what was your experience with those projects? Either of those or any of them that you've done?
My experience was really fun. They were teaching me how to use spray cans, and I really liked it. And like me and Carly just connected really good. And then I found out my friend Jose was also in it, and I was like, oh damn! And like the mural, I had a little taste of it, but right now me and him are trying to communicate to like do another mural. But yeah, it was fun working with him.
Yeah, totally. We will look out for another mural. That's awesome.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, that was super cool. So, Jose, we've been hearing your name a lot. Tell us a little bit about your art, what you've been up to.
My name is Jose. I've been painting for maybe like, I was like 14, 15 now. I got incarcerated when I was like 15, and I got a mentor through Latino Network named Jesus, and he was an artist in the community, like probably one of the best artists in Portland. And he showed me pretty much how to do art, how to take control of cans, like get can control and stuff like that. And I met Carlos when I was at Donald D. Long, but he was kind of lame, so I didn't pay attention to him as much. But when I got out, they set me up with him to paint a mural. And then from me and him just painting a mural, like I was super heavy into graffiti. Like my whole life was about graffiti. Like I would come to the class that we were doing to paint that, and my hands were covered in paint, like just always painting. And I was whack though. So working with him, he taught me letter construction, taught me how to stretch out my letters, make them skinnier, make them fatter, make them pointy, make them sharp, all that, you know. And it kind of helped me be better of an artist. And it was cool because I got to be a part of a Gillette commercial with him, which is pretty tight. I got to be a part of a Gillette commercial with him. I got to paint like 2 little murals with him. And then there was another one where a kid like slacked off on his mural, so I got to paint like the rest of his. And to this day, like we just painted one downtown, and the one that we got to paint downtown was super fun because we were working with some of like the top artists in Portland on that mural, like artists like Just and Jesus and Mario and Carlos. And for the first time, I was able to do my own little section, which was like, that meant a lot to me because it was a print that he helped me make earlier, and he was able to help me blow it up and put it on the huge side of like a building downtown along the waterfront. And I don't know, I tend to call Carlos like 2-3 times a week just to kick it, like talk, see how he's doing, stuff like that.
Talk trash usually.
Yeah, pretty much just to talk smack. Or we'll go out to like those free walls in Portland and just paint, clear the head, you know, stuff like that. Recently my brother passed away, and I went on a trip to California. And when I got back from California, like the day I got back, I walked up on a business and I was like, hey, can I paint a mural for you guys? And they were like, yeah. So first person I called was Carlos, and Carlos was like, I got you on material, like stuff like that. And he wasn't even trying to be like a part of the project, but I was like, hey bro, like I want you on the project. So it was cool because he was able to fund it through MYP, and we were able to paint a mural pretty much like in the hood for free. And we were able to have some really good artists on there that don't really paint murals as much, but are very talented artists. And since then, like it's been the beginning of like me going out to reach out to get more murals so that me and Carlos can do them, whether it's with Morpheus Youth Project or just as like family, you know, just to get out there. And I think that's it. I mean, Carlos turned me into a square, so that's about it. Yeah.
Jose's my guy, man. When it's time to go get some therapy, you know what I mean? We'll go and paint, you know. We'll find a little spot and we'll paint together. We'll chop it up, you know, catch up on things, you know, give each other a hard time. You know, he's become like my little nephew or something, you know. And so we yeah, like he said, we connect all the time. We're always hitting each other up. What I love about Jose is that whenever we got a project going on, he's got great ideas, you know, and he helps me to develop new ideas for how to approach things and how to come up with cool things that we can do with the community. But I can always count on him he'll be the first one there every time, ready to roll. He's helping us unload the car, and
Hey, I was like 2 minutes late. I caught myself right there. I'm sorry about that.
that's like as late as you'll ever have him. Like he's usually early. He's ready to roll. He's ready for business, and he's a workhorse. He'll be there. He'll be the first one there and the last one out of there. So you can always count on that. And he's really developed himself as an artist throughout the years, and we've done some really cool stuff together. So like, those are the type of experiences for me. I could walk away from this thing tomorrow and be happy. Because I know that I've had experiences like that within the community, and that I've built relationships like that in the community. So it's a privilege for me to be able to do that.
I wanted to ask, this is sort of the same question we asked Ivan, but I feel like it's an important question. Jose, is there a project that you've done with Carlos or that you've done alone that you're just like really proud of?
Oh, I mean, we got to paint at the post office in the Pearl District, and like painting in the Pearl District is pretty cool because nobody really paints in the Pearl District. And that was cool because like he laced up some letters, and it was me and a friend of ours, and we just got to lace up some letters, and it was cool because that wasn't like the area to do things like that, and we kind of made it pop because there was like I think there was like rappers or like DJs and stuff like that, and then the one downtown, I mean, we pretty much did that together. I think I'm the most proud of that one though, for sure. And then the other one, my head was like on a swivel, so I didn't really do as much as I wanted to on the last mural we did. But the one downtown, I'm super proud of, for sure.
Yeah,
There was another one that we did. The one thing that with Jose that I think was a great time too, was that we did an art show together. We did the Jesus and the Homies show.
Yeah, we did
It
an
was
art
like-
show together too. Forgot to mention that.
It was cool because it was like Jesus, like he said, is one of his mentors that he met when he was in JDH. That's the juvenile detention. That was one of his mentors. Well, I became one of his mentors, and then we had another friend named Rudy from Redstone Collective. They do Sweat Lodge, or they used to do Sweat Lodge over at JDH, and so we're three people that were connected to Jose in the world of art, and also just as mentors, and we hosted it was originally Jesus was doing an art show, and it was just going to be him. He was going to be featured, and he wanted to do something that was more community minded, and he's like, hey, let's do a show called Jesus and the Homies. Right. And so he invited me, Rudy, Jose, and his brother was involved too, but it allowed us to also showcase work from like Marco and other guys that we work with at McLaren. We had like there was paintings, there was even woodwork, there was and pottery. I mean, it was cool, but it was like the community feel. I mean, Jose, I think you sold more art that show than probably ever.
We had 2 art shows, and I sold out both art shows. It was like, man, you should have told Carlos could tell you I was so excited. I was like, what? I was so like confused. Because I was able to actually have like street art up there, and I was just like, yo, this is amazing. So
Marco even sold some stuff there. That might have been the first time that Marco sold some of his artwork. Yeah, he was the first guy that at McLaren that ever sold his artwork, and yeah, he's done it multiple times now.
Super cool. Yeah, that's a good moment. Thank you all so much. Speaking of Marco and Blue, do you want to tell us a little bit about what you've been up to? I know Marco, you were saying you're involved in a lot of different art. Blue, you're pretty into music. I know things have been like weird with COVID and everything. Is there anything you've been involved with Morpheus lately, or just any projects you've been working on?
Okay, so you asked what we've been doing with Morpheus, or just projects in general? Okay. Lately, we've been trying to get together with Carlos like once a week, and then we just kind of we'll learn new songs. We'll work on writing some new material, or just groove some of our usual stuff. And so it's always good getting that practice in. He's taught me a lot about playing with other people in a band, so it's been really beneficial for me.
Tell about your band, bro.
Yeah, me and some of the guys on the unit here started a band.
That's super cool to hear.
They got a trio that started after all this, you know.
Mhm.
I remember Blue was bugging me for the longest time, like, man, we got to get some music. Do you have any connections with musicians? And I'm like, you know, I ended up going to the unit and we kind of jammed out a little bit. I brought my bass with me. We jammed a little bit. But I started talking to My Voice Music to get them involved out there. And they actually had somebody who went through the volunteer process and was going to start teaching art or teaching music alongside with MYP, like through MYP and through Hope Partnership, which is our big partner out there at McLaren. And unfortunately, COVID hit, you know, and then, you know, no volunteers were allowed to come through. But I knew that it was something that was really important to Blue because it was, he kept, you know, he would keep kind of reminding me every time I saw him. And there was other guy, he would like let me know, like, oh, guess what? Like Justin and I have been writing some music, or, you know, oh, I learned this song with Joe, you know. And so like I knew that he was still kind of pushing it forward. And eventually I just said, you know what? I had a decent sized grant and I was thinking, like, I think the best way to pull these guys together is to actually do kind of a live band where they can all play together, you know, because they all have instruments of their own, or at least the guys that were involved had guitars of their own. And I was thinking, like, well, they need the backbone, you know, so I ended up buying a drum kit and I brought the drum kit in and I knew a little bit about it. So I've been learning too, along with them, you know. And then eventually we were able to get My Voice Music on through Zoom. So it's kind of been a collaborative thing, but it's been really cool to see the guys develop, to see them turn into a little band. They were playing holiday music out at McLaren. I'm mentioning these things so that I can get Blue to talk a little bit more about some of these other things, because he'll get right to the point, but you gotta poke him a little bit, get him to talk a little bit more. What do you think about that, Blue?
I mean, yeah, it's been really good. It's probably my favorite group I've ever done here, honestly. And I don't know, I feel like you personally have taught me how to kind of take playing music to the next level on a more serious level, if you know what I mean.
That's cool. I appreciate that.
Yeah, and
It's been a lot of fun. Like I haven't, like, this is one of the funnest groups I've ever run, is the music group. I've always loved playing music. You know, I did it for myself. I had a friend. I used to play with some guys, like a little garage band, and I was like, this will be cool. But I have a blast every week when we get out there and play music. You know, and I know that they're enjoying it too, because we just cut loose, you know, and we play with a whole bunch of different things. What instrument do you play, Blue? Primarily.
primarily guitar.
He's a damn good guitarist too.
I,
I mean, he's kind of, you know, I don't know if the other guys are within earshot, but Blue's kind of like the band leader. You know what I mean? He's pretty with it as a musician, and he understands. I would say has a basic understanding for theory, like pretty decent, you know, and you know, anytime we're playing within whatever scale, he can usually jump on it pretty quick, and he can usually do some pretty cool stuff with it. So it's kind of fun when you see him jump in and kind of lose himself for a minute. He gets that kind of goofy, boyish look on his face. You know, he gets in that zone. His head will tweak off in a weird way and everything, and you know, next thing you know, he's tearing some stuff up. So it's fun. We have a good time.
I wanted to ask, we know how the music like program started, but I wanted to ask, like, how did music for you start, Blue?
Good question.
yeah. So I've been incarcerated for the past 7 years. And I think about 3 years ago, maybe 4 now, I don't even know. I started kind of just messing around with the piano just to see what would happen. And I realized I have some natural talent for it. So then I developed that further. And then somebody ended up giving me a guitar. So I started learning that and then just kind of went from there.
Yeah. Can I ask, do you have like a favorite song to play?
Depends on my mood, really. My taste is kind of all over the place. And I have a couple different guitars for different styles. Right now I'm trying to get more into metal. It's really hard, but I've been learning Master of Puppets by Metallica.
And Schism.
Yeah, that's a fun one too.
That's been a hard one.
Very cool, very cool. Yeah, I know like the teeniest bit about like playing metal songs and playing with different guitars, and it can be tough, so major props. Yeah, let's see. Marco, is there anything you wanna tell us about your art or anything that you're working on?
Yeah, I'm working on a small project right now. I just been busy with other stuff, but when I grew up doing graffiti and stuff, and then I kind of stopped doing that and drifted onto other stuff. But ever since I got incarcerated, I kind of always been a natural artist since I was a kid. So as soon as I got locked up, I was like, I'm gonna just start focusing on that more. And when I came to McLaren, there was like a bunch of groups and everything with Hope Partnership, and a lot of the older guys were going. That's where I met Ezekiel and a lot of the other, like, I guess you could call them mentors, older guys and stuff. And I met Carlos there, and I kind of I got better in my skills and developed like different techniques on creating art. And I learned, and through Carlos, he kind of like showed me like that I can add more value to my art, and stuff like that. Because usually I'll just do something to give it away or whatever, and then he would kind of like tell me that there was art shows, stuff like that. So he's like, yeah, we'll put some of your stuff up there, you can probably sell it or something. And then I remember selling a small piece, and he's like, yeah, like you got like $50 for that, blah blah. And I didn't even know, and I was like, around here, $50, that's like, you got right there, that's commissary noodles, whatever. So I'm like, man, I could really do something with my art, and so I mean I do a lot of like, I could do like portraits and like graffiti and stuff like that. And so I started getting more involved and I started getting involved in like murals around the facility. Usually like people from the administration building, like people that run stuff here, they'll like give us permission, and then Carlos usually like brings all the materials and then kind of kickstart the whole mural. So I learned how to do that more. And so since I've been incarcerated, obviously I haven't been able to use spray paint. So my first time touching a spray can again was with Carlos a couple years back, probably like a year or 2 years back, when we did this mural in one of the back units. But I learned how to pick the can up again. I mean, right now, like my can control kind of sucks, but I mean, it's whatever, there's reason for that. But so yeah, he also like was able, so through him and Kathleen, I was able to get like all the art supplies that I needed, like pencils, black books, all that kind of stuff. So I mean, it's great because like around here, Carlos kind of does a little bit of everything, so everybody gets to like learn from him somehow. And sometimes now I'm like, man, I'm able on my free time, I'm doing my own stuff, and through the stuff that I've learned from Carlos and other guys, he like volunteers he's brought, I was able to kind of just do my own art pieces without needing a lot of guidance, because I don't know, I feel like I've developed enough to where I can kind of like put some stuff together. Carlos comes around and I'll ask him like, what's up, check this out, what do you think about this or whatever, but lately, since everything's hit though, we haven't been able to do much. So I kind of just do little drawings here and there, but I'm mostly focused on. I'm also a barber student, and I'm ready to test for that. And, a CRM, which is a certified recovery mentor. So I kind of just been doing that lately. But I mean, I always got some art going on. I always have to. I'm never gonna put that down, you know.
Yeah. I wanted to ask, I'm actually stealing this from our youth group prompts. I mean, sorry, not youth group, our Youth Power PDX prompts. But is there like a art or an artist that like resonates with you or that you like focus on?
So there's a couple, but for different stuff. Like so for tattoo, like I like tattoos. I want to do tattoos when I get out. Um, I After I saw this documentary on Netflix, I think it's called uh, LA's Finest or something like that.
The
Oh, yeah.
originals.
Yeah. So I was watching that and I was like, damn, like those dudes are nice. I can't remember what's his name? Cartoon, yeah, that's his name. Yeah, Cartoon. He's probably my favorite tattoo artist. But graffiti wise, I'd have to say, so there's a crew. I don't know if you guys know. It's a big like crew. I know Carlos doesn't know about it, but it's MSK. I've told him about it. It's this big crew, MSK, and my
Like
favorite.
stuff.
Huh?
Saber MSK.
Yeah. So Saver and Auger. So there's two guys that are my favorite, but so there's this dude Auger. He's like ambidextrous and he can like do fill-ins and stuff with both hands. Like he does all kinds of crazy stuff, you know. So he's definitely, if I had to pick one though, it'd be him, Auger from MSK. But yeah, there's a lot of artists I like to follow and watch. But yeah.
Do you think you get inspiration from those sort of artists, or like where do you get art inspiration from?
I mean, really anything, but yeah. So whenever I run dry, you know, like every artist knows, sometimes you just get artist block. I'll go and like look at Google or hop on YouTube or something, and just type them up, and then you know, you kind of, and it's crazy because art is such a like broad, like, you know, there's so much competition everywhere. It's like, you know, music, rappers and stuff like that. There's so much good, talented people out there. Like you run dry sometimes. So, I mean, I'll either hear that or somebody tells me something, or I'll like think it's like my creativity sometimes just sparks randomly, and I'll just think it's some. But yeah, there's different ways I find, you know, I get creative. So yeah.
Marco gets down. He's being a little bit humble. All right, so I actually met you at North Coast, Marco.
Oh yeah.
I came out there and I did a little breakdance like cultural presentation, and Marco hit me up afterwards and was like, "Yeah, man." He goes, "I remember when folks were breaking in the Bay Area. I come from the Bay Area," and I was like, "Yeah, me too." You know, and I brought out my black book and asked him if he'd, you know, throw something in my black book because he had mentioned that he liked to do art, you know, and I was like, and so he did a nice little throwy in there. It was a cool little throwy. Throwy's like it's a quick little kind of like a bubble letter style, but he had a good flavor to it, you know. And I mean, like, to be real, like his style was better than mine right then. You know, I feel like my style has elevated since then, but you know, Marco's always been a strong artist, you know. And I remember just talking to him like, man, you gotta stick with this art stuff. And then when he came to McLaren, we got him involved in art, and he's actually one of the reasons that I started to get spray cans in the facility because I knew that he'd be able to do something really good with it. And we actually got to make some history together there at McLaren. We painted the first graffiti style mural ever in OYA history, and probably, I mean, I don't know if there's any graffiti in any other facilities in the country, to tell you the truth. There might be, but I've never heard of it. I've never seen it. And I know at least on the West Coast, you're not going to find that within a YA facility. So I remember when we were painting it, we were just thinking about this would be cool. This is just going to be fun for us to just be able to have this experience, you know. And Jesus came in, he helped to mentor when we were doing the painting. So it was Jesus and I that helped to kind of facilitate it. And there was one of the staff there, Rolando, who helped us kind of put it together, at least to organize the logistics. And then we had Marco and 3 other young guys that were involved. And it was a powerful thing, because one of the young guys was having a real difficult time in his life, and so it was a real, it gave him a really positive space to be in during a really tough struggle that he had. And we had another guy that was getting out, so he got a chance to leave his mark before he went home, which is, an inspiration for other guys. And then Marco, it gave him an opportunity to really kind of take it on. And I don't know, he really kind of, in a lot of ways, took the lead on that one, and as an artist. And he talks about having sloppy hand skills, but for not having been able to touch a can for a long time, he did really well with it, and it came out. We were really proud, but it kind of struck me, as we were standing there, we all kind of were just looking at it from a distance and like just feeling ourselves at the moment, like this is cool, but it struck me like, man, we just made history right now. Like this is a historic thing right here. And we all kind of just like pondered, like, yeah, that really is, isn't it? And that's kind of, so it was just a really cool thing. But for me, it's been I really enjoyed seeing Marco take this passion on seriously, and actually take it somewhere, with him and Blue, if there's a conversation about music or art, their name is going to come up. Those are the 2 top guys in the facility. What is there? There's over 200 guys in the facility, right? I think there's over 200 guys, like 250, 240, something like that, guys in the facility. These guys are the top. These are the 2 top artists in those realms, They're the ones that everybody goes to if anybody needs advice about that, or if they need some inspiration. They're definitely inspiring guys. Marco's one of the most rounded artists that's ever been in that facility that I've ever seen. I can think of one other person that's that skilled, that came before him. But for me, it's exciting to see these guys develop as artists, and to see them really just taking, from one step to the next, but not just as artists, but also at like understanding how to coordinate, how you organizing what you're doing. Like with Blue, he's working with a band, and so he's got to kind of coordinate what's going to happen and take the lead, and kind of push the guys when they need to be pushed. Like, hey, Joe, you need to get off those video games and you need to, no, I'm just kidding. He's not here, but I'm giving him a hard time. But just kind of push the guys, to kind of, get there. And then, Marco helped me to, like, we did recently did a mural for the Plaza. Plaza is a fitness center, and they wanted a mural, and they asked us if we can do a big one to go. It's basically just a big sign that went over the top, but it was real grueling because it was straight letters. We didn't get to really kind of cut loose with graffiti, so it was a lot of taping off and all that. But we finally got down to it, and got to, at the end, we got to get down with the spray cans a little bit just to kind of give it some flavor. And then when we peeled all the tape off and we got to see what it looked like. I mean, this is a big mural. It's it's like 8 by 12. It's an 8 by 12. We did it on 3 4x8 panels, and it's a big one. And we got it, and we finished that off. There was 3 other guys that were involved, and it was just a cool, positive thing. But Marco was a big part of just kind of like, we worked through the ideas, we worked through how it was going to be executed, and the goal there was to teach him, how to be independent as an artist. Like, here are the things that you need to do. We always talk about like how, like, what it's like to get a commission, and how do you negotiate, a contract and those sort of things. That way, when the guys are stepping into this art world, I mean, these are conversations I have with Jose as well, is like, you're worth something as an artist. There's a reason that people reach out to you, and that's because you have skill as an artist. So you have to know how to put a price on that for people, and you have to know how to negotiate and how to be a professional on the back end of it, And so there's a lot more that goes with it, and that's what's going to land you, those paid opportunities, So.
Yeah, thank you. I am so honored to have all y'all here today and really like hearing what you've been working on, hearing about like how you literally like made history doing that mural. Like that's so cool to hear. And like I didn't know about that. I'm sure a lot of our audience didn't know about that. And it's just yeah, the reason I'm so glad that we made this happen, that y'all made this happen. So thank you.
Yeah, me too. I appreciate it.
We are, yeah. Let's see. For any of y'all, is there anything else y'all wanted to share here today, or is there anything? Again, I know things are kind of on pause because of COVID, but is there anything that's happening in the near future, or that you're going to be working on that you're excited about?
So me and the band were working on some songs that we're gonna get recorded with Carlos, and then hopefully get them out there however we can. I'm not sure what that'll look like, but it should be exciting.
Yeah, we'll look out for it. That's awesome.
Super cool.
I just wanted to say thank you to Carlos for getting us involved in this, you know. I mean, he knows he does a lot for us, but he taught me how to do a lot in regards of art, you know. Like that's always been my main focus, and I was able to just learn different stuff and add value to my art, you know, because you know, like he just said, you know, like when he was talking to Jose or whatever about, you know, knowing how to price stuff or whatever, you know, make a living out of your art, you know. That's kind of what he taught me. So, I mean, now Carlos knows, and you know, a lot of the guys know now. Like, if it's something big, I won't do it for free. You know, like I don't mind doing little stuff here and there and all that. But like, ever since I've learned like what my stuff's worth, and you know, I've been able to make an all right living in here, and also like impact other people. It's like I've had people come up to me and be like, "Bro, my mom cried when she saw that card you drew for her." Like, it's little stuff like that that's like kind of hit home for me. So
That happens all the time for Marco. It's kind of a running joke, you know, because how many times has people told you that? Like, it's quite a few times where Marco did a piece of art and somebody started crying, you know. So it's kind of like a funny thing that we kind of joke about sometimes. Like, dude, I made him cry again, you know.
like, nah, that's not like. Yeah, but yeah, bro, like for real, thank you. Like that's for real. Like that's stuff that I'll never forget. You know, like little skills like that, or just you know, broaden my horizon within everything, bro. Like I started doing like pastels, watercolors, like stuff I never even, you know, as in here it's just all pencil pen. You know, like you know, I started painting, I started doing everything. So it's like, you know, that's legit, bro. I can give you enough thanks for that.
Well, I appreciate it too. You know what I mean? Because it's like, I appreciate you guys give me a lot of praise. You know, I appreciate that, but at the same time, like I learn and I'm like I get from you as well. You know, so I learn from each one of you. There's always something that I learn from each one of you, and that builds me as a person too. You know, it humbles me and it builds me, and it also drives me to continue doing stuff like this. You know, it's exciting for me. You know, so I'm glad that when I get up and go to work, that I get to work with you guys. You know, like that's an honor for me. You know, and that's every one of you guys. It's also an honor to be on the panel with you all. You know, I appreciate this being a youth-driven panel. I mean, I'm amazed at what you all are doing with this call here with the technology. I'm like, man, I'm gonna have to tap into what you guys are doing because I want to do something like this too. You know, so I'm impressed by that, and I really appreciate you having us involved and us being able to take part in this.
I wanted to sort of, and this might cut into the question Blaine was asking, but this is just something that came up for me when y'all were talking, when everybody was talking. I'm just sort of wondering, like, how, I mean, everybody here has some sort of art form, as we've talked about, and I'm just wondering, like, how has art affected your lives and like your lives in 2020 and getting through COVID?
Oh man, yeah, for real. I'm gonna let somebody else talk because I talk a lot.
Uh, I mean, art for me, it's given me something to focus on to get through these hard times, and it's also given me like a calling. I feel like
Yeah, purpose.
like something I feel like I was meant to do.
Yeah.
Powerful.
For me, I've been just able to sit and do more art because of the whole quarantine. So it's giving me a lot of time to just focus on that because like here at McLaren, like when everything started, we weren't able to mix and do anything and go work or whatever, go to school. So it gave me something to do, and like Blue said, like perfectly, it's a calling.
I'm wondering, Ivan, Jose, do you have anything that you wanted to say on that? About like just how COVID has affected or how art has helped through COVID?
It just I guess gives me something to do. I have a daughter and I work at night and in the day, but on Zoom calls. So when I get home and I'm with my daughter, I'm able to like sit down and draw, give her a piece of paper and a pencil, and she'll do her thing. She's not even a year yet, but she likes to hold pencils. So it's just that. And then also it's given me like a whole new set of surrounding, like the things I used to do compared to where I go now. Like you can ask Carlos, like I explore like crazy like now, I don't just kick it in the same area that I used to hang out with the same people. It just gets me out the house, gets me into nature, it gives me ideas, you'll go find some crazy stuff if you look for it.
Yeah, and we didn't ask this question when you were talking, but I am wondering, like, do you have any art influences or like artists that speak to you?
So like the dude he was talking about, Augur just painted a mural with this dude named Putum, and that dude is like like dope. Like he's dope. Him and Carlos. Carlos, I like Carlos's art because he taught me how to do letter construction. And he's really he goes really simple with it. Like it kind of irritates me how simple he goes with it because it's just blocks. Like he does blocks with style, and it just like it always makes me mad because for me it's like I like to paint fast and I like to paint big. Like I paint. If you ask anybody about me, like I paint huge and I paint big and I paint fast. And he's taught me how to slow down and paint small and boxy and all that stuff, But him, Seuss is definitely an influence. I have a friend named Diego. My friend Diego, he kills it. Everybody that I introduced Carlos to pretty much is
Mario.
I look up to Mark. Yeah, keep going. Yeah, not him, but he's very talented. But just I don't know, like get it where you can, you got to get it how you can. So whatever artist you see, one thing I've learned was take feedback and steal from 1,000, not one, because if you steal from one, you're not original. If you steal from 1,000, that's how you become original, because there's no such thing. Like one thing Carlos said a long time ago, like probably 3 years ago, he was like, it's so hard to be original now because of social media. You look at social media and it influences your art so much. So for me, it's like, it's hard to stick out the box, and finding your style in art is crazy. Cause I remember, I don't know if it was Marcos that did this piece, but it had Mac Dre on it. Was that you?
Yeah.
Oh bro, like that right there. It's like, he's over here doing some like West Coast. He's like doing some East Coast on the West Coast. And that's like kind of how you find that to me, that's like, that's what kind of, I told Carlos, I was like, dude, that's amazing. Like whoever did that, that's dope. He had the golden bridge in it. I don't know what that bridge is called, but he had the bridge in it. He had Mac Dre in it. Like it was popping on the top floor of the art show. I was like, dang, he got the good spot too. So I don't know. Yeah, bro. I just keep doing what you're doing, everybody, Ivan, just seeing that there's little dudes like Ivan out there still painting, trying to paint, learning their letter construction.
Alive.
Yeah, that keeps the art going, So that's about it.
I'm curious for you, Ivan. as you start to develop and as you start to build skills, what are like as you think about yourself as an artist in your mind, what do you aspire to do with it? Like what would you like to see yourself doing as an artist in the future, like 5, 10 years from now?
Like for me, what I would like to do 5 years from now is like the same thing you're doing, teach other young youth and people art. Also like Jesus, like you know how Jesus does tattooing and stuff. I
Yeah.
like what he does, and he inspires me a lot. Also, you do, cause like you were the one that taught me letter constructing and a lot of stuff. And over like the past months, I got really good at it. And like yeah, like I just like want to help out like other people that want to become artists and like help out like with letter construction, and or also just become a tattoo artist and like I had like Jesus and do murals and stuff like that.
Nice.
I kind of want to see if we can extend that question to some other people because I think that's a great question. Like
Yeah.
10 to 15 years from now, what do you want your art to look like?
Me personally, I just want to get more into tattooing when I get out. Um, I want to do that as like a side job and everything, or whenever I have free time, because that's kind of always been my passion. Um, is tattooing. I'll still do graffiti and stuff, just mess around in the books or whatever. Or if there's a mural that comes up or something, I want to do some around the house. But my main focus is going to be definitely tattooing. That's where I see myself 5 or 10 years from now, is doing like tattoos, either at home or um, in a shop, you know. So
My goal is really just to try to make a living off of my music any way I can, really. And I don't really want to be put in any kind of box. I feel like I take inspiration from a lot of different stuff, a lot of different styles. Like Carlos has been showing me a lot of like really groovy type of stuff, like funk and soul, and that's been really cool. 'Cause before that, my main influence was folk. So
Till he got a hold of that little wah pedal, that little automatic wah pedal, and he's like, "Oh, okay, this is kind of cool."
yeah,
Yeah, I feel like we've like a lot of people here on this panel have talked about like finding their style, and I'm wondering if that was like um I don't know if that's like I don't think I formed this question very well, but I do think that's a very interesting thing, and I think like as young artists, like a lot of us are still finding our style, and it's I think it's just an interesting thing to talk about. I don't know.
definitely.
To me, that's one of the funnest things. Being original, being able to, because you kind of stumble into it. I mean, you might have certain intention about where you want to go with your style, but your style just kind of naturally comes out in the way that it's gonna on its own. So you just kind of latch onto it and nurture and take it whatever direction it's taking you, really. So it's kind of, for me, seeing all these guys, what they're involved in. And that doesn't just apply to just art, because life is art. Seeing how these guys are developing as young men and kind of how they're carrying themselves as artists and as people. From Ezekiel's perspective, culture is a big focus of his. You know what I mean? But there's an artistry that ties it together. You know what I mean? His culture. He's able to communicate what he's doing culturally through the dance. And there's stories that are being told that have been passed down from generation to for hundreds of years, that have passed down, that still have such deep meaning to those that are involved in it, and that connect each other to each other. I what did I say? Connect each other to each other. Anyways, but it has that ability, and so it's a cool thing.
Yeah. Um, Yeah, I for one have been really excited to hear what y'all have been up to, what y'all are going to be up to, and yeah, just want to put out there like if you all have projects you're working on or other stuff that you just want to put out there, like feel free to reach out to us at Youth Power PDX because we want to support you. Like we want to see what y'all are doing because it's awesome.
That's great. Well, I mean, in terms of MYP, it's like a constant moving animal, you know. We were talking a little bit about COVID, you know. Um, I mean, MYP is a pretty small organization, you know. Um, and you know, it's a small core group of us that are kind of making things happen, and we've always had to kind of be on our toes, you know. Creating this organization has always been a like a challenge of there's always been something that's been thrown at us, you know, to that a lot of times would have taken out small organizations, you know, or that would have disrupted it in quite a way. But because we're creative people, we've always been able to come up with an answer for it, you know. And so I think that's always been kind of a strong suit for us. And so with COVID, I feel like we've always been on our toes like that anyways. So it's just a matter of how we adapt to the situation, you know, and how do we, I mean, that's what, you know, partly why I started doing music with these guys, you know, because I was like, oh, well, you know, this is, you know, I'm trying to listen to what their needs are, you know, in terms of what they're trying to do, you know, and that was one that I was hearing right here, you know, and I was like, okay, I got to answer that, you know, and so we jumped on it, you know, doing the mural projects. We didn't always do murals, you know, like we were trying to develop what's happening with that. But the thing is that like everybody that's involved kind of contributes to it in some way, shape, or form. It's the ideas that a lot of these guys are coming up with, you know, that, I mean, that memorial mural, you know, Jose hit me up and he's like, hey, I want you to paint with me. Yeah, like I want you to do a piece of it, you know. And I was like, well, that's cool. I'm honored to do that, you know. I knew his friend, you know, or his brother that had passed, you know. So it was an honor for me to be involved, and I was able to step in on a larger way and say, well, hey, I don't want you guys to have to worry about the cost for paint, you know, trying to figure out how to come up with that. I can cover that, and we can turn it into kind of an MYP collaboration, you know, and that just made it easier for everybody. And then it was just a matter of folks just like putting their piece up there, you know, and us being able to vibe out as artists, you know, and kind of like we had a good time doing it, you know. The downtown mural, that was amazing too, you know, because I mean, you think about with the COVID situation, everybody was nervous, you know, at first. By the time that we did that mural, which was late summer, folks were starting to kind of figure out that, okay, we can be outside and we just got to spread out a little bit. That's the beauty of a mural, you know, especially it was a 130-foot long mural by like 10 to 12 feet high in different spaces. So we were able to spread out along that mural and still, you know, I was able to bring in some mentors, you know, to work with these young artists, and it turned into something that was really beautiful, you know. I mean, it was definitely the biggest mural we've ever done, you know, and the most collaborative, you know, so it was a cool experience, you know. So, I mean, actually, it was probably more like 140 feet because we even wrapped it around one of the corners. So, but in terms of the future, like we're always thinking about how to improve and how to do things in the future. You know, how do we, so in terms of like moving forward, I know I definitely want to get more mural projects going, and I'm going to work
Get the
harder.
community more involved.
Exactly. I'm going to work hard well, now I know Jose will walk up to anybody and be like, hey, we're doing a mural on your wall. And, you know, folks will tell him, yeah, you know, he just is one of those people that will do that. You know, he gets out there, he networks, you know. And so I'm going to have to tap into that a little bit and help him, you know, kind of lean on that a little bit, see if he can help us land some walls, you know. But, you know, I definitely want to take that on some more because it's just a great opportunity. I definitely want to do more with music. And you know, we're just, I mean, obviously with Aztec dance and doing some of the more ceremonial stuff, I'm really excited about extending into that realm. That's something I've been wanting to do with MYP for a long time. but you don't just go out there and do that. Like you have to be, for a lack of a better word, you got to be ordained to do that. You know what I mean? Like you have to be deeply involved with that community and work your way up to that point. Like Ezekiel had to be blessed with the position to lead the dance group at McLaren, and then also to lead it in the community. So I've been fortunate enough that he became part of our team so that he can lead through MYP. So there's some cool stuff in the works, and I'm excited about it.
Yeah, and I did want to take a moment, maybe just a few minutes, to show the visuals that we have talking about the murals. So I might just share screen and show these. If anybody who was like there at these projects wants to share something while we share these visuals, that would be awesome.
Cool.
I'm just gonna say it now. My piece came out kind of whack on the second one. Just putting that out there.
It's all word.
Because people be judging, so I'm just letting y'all know.
Whatever.
Okay, so yeah, we have some stuff about Ezekiel. We have which project was this?
That's the downtown project right there.
That's awesome. When
That's the 130-foot one.
Nice. Yeah.
That's Jesus in the blue shirt right there. One of our lead artists. And then on the far left, the female artist is Amma. She gets down. She's like pretty much like the only female artist of color who's getting down with spray cans like that, like at that caliber in the city right now. So like we seriously had top artists on this sucker.
Yeah.
It was cool. That fist right there is Jose's right there. That's when he was working on it. He was working through it.
That's awesome. We have this, I think this
That's Ivan right there and his little brother.
Nice.
Yeah,
his little brother was going through a tough time. His girlfriend, she dipped out and she linked up with somebody else, and I said, Angel, come out and paint with us, man. It'll make you feel better. That little guy's a character right there.
Ivan, can I ask about this?
He's also trying to link up with Carlos. Well, I'm trying to link him up because my little brother I know he does breakdancing, and we're trying to find out a little bit if we can work with Carlos for breakdancing.
I can't wait till we can get that going again. That's been hard. That's one of the harder things with COVID.
Yeah.
We usually do competitions.
Oh yeah, you submitted some pictures of it. I was like, that's awesome. That had to have been before COVID by just people in the room. Yeah. Oh, okay. We have. I put a lot on this slide. I was trying to show many of the things.
Cool.
And I kind of
good work.
Yeah.
build it up. Yeah, no, but I thought this was awesome. Can I ask about these visuals?
Yeah, go ahead, guys.
What do you want to know?
I mean, there's a lot on here. I've kind of filled it up, but I'm just wondering, I don't know, if any of these art pieces were yours or people, and what your experience was with that.
All right. So look. So those shoes. So the most recent pair of shoes, the other one, the Nipsey and the Kobe, I just did those, probably 2 or 3 months ago. And I did them for one of the guys on unit because he really liked Kobe Bryant and he really liked Nipsey Hussle, so he wanted to get his shoes done. And then I did those other 4 pairs of shoes. I did them a while ago for one of the what was it, Carlos?
Production.
Yeah.
Echo Productions. Partnership.
Right. So I did those for that, and it was where everybody that was involved in the videos had their own character they had to portray. So the guys were they were oh, well, I want it to look like this, or this is who I'm gonna, who I'm gonna be in the video or whatever. So I try to do the best piece for each shoes that would kind of help them just identify themselves in the video, show people who they were by the shoes they had on.
That's so awesome, and they look amazing. It's really cool.
Yeah, thank you. So then I did this Nipsey Hussle painting right above the shoes. I did that one. You know, like as soon as he died, I was like, dang, he was like impact. He was, you know, he was impactful. He like a lot of his music and stuff was like profoundly moving. So I definitely felt like I had to do a Nipsey piece. So that's when I did that. I also did that like 4 months ago, 3 months ago.
Yeah, so during COVID stuff then?
Yeah. Most of it. So the piece, the Nipsey piece and the piece right next to it was both during COVID, and the one right next to the Nipsey piece is way bigger. It's like, how many inches do you think it is, Carlos?
Yeah, it's like 2 feet by 2 feet, ain't it? Like roughly.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
it was pretty big. So that one took me a while, but I kind of looked up some Aztec symbols and everything, and actually the on the red side of the Mexican flag, it's if I'm not mistaken, those are Aztec symbols for wind, water, and movement. And on the green side is and the green side on the top part, there's like this little bird looking thing, and then there's another pattern. And basically, so what the Aztecs used to do when they played their, like, I don't know, probably Ezekiel knows more, but when they used to play like their form of soccer or whatever, they used to keep score with those bird heads, but they're big stones. So I don't know how they used to do that, but the the pattern that's above the bird stone head is a pattern that was on the mini pyramids. They had like mini pyramids around the sections where they played their form of soccer, and I just kind of like saw one of the patterns and kind of threw it on there right above the scorekeeping thing. But then I also added the other, like the Aztec blowing
The conch.
the conch. So it kind of just added flavor to the whole piece, and I don't know. I just wanted that piece to be like culturally like intact, you know?
Yeah, totally. That's awesome. And I think we have some of the band maybe here in these photos as well.
Yeah. In the top left, you can see my other two bandmates.
Nice.
And I'm down there in the bottom middle. And I think this is when we were learning some Christmas songs that we played up at the admin building.
That's awesome. And then just really quick, we'll move on from this slide in a sec. But this, what was this? There was a bunch of pictures of it, but it was very cool. So I wanted to ask about it.
That was where we made history.
That I was gonna ask. Yeah, was that the mural? It's very awesome. There was one other wide picture that I just couldn't fit on there, but it was very cool.
That was a good project.
Yeah. And then, all right. This one. Which mural was this, or piece was this?
That was the memorial right there. The top left is my brother that passed away, and that was painted by Alex Chu, which is like one of like top muralists in Portland. He does like probably the best portraits in Portland. The bottom left one was the one that we did at the post office with Carlos, and that one was tight. That one was hella tight. And then to the right in the blue shirt, that was like, I don't know what that was for. I think we were just painting for no reason. And then
the golf course.
Oh yeah, that was the golf course. Yeah, he was pretty much trying to teach us how to piece, and I don't know. I didn't really care for piecing. I was more of like a bomber, so piecing wasn't really nothing to me until he kind of showed me how to do that. Those three that are all purple in the middle are like pretty much my friends that I've known for a couple years that I paint with. They're the top dude. He's super talented. I have the opportunity to paint with him all the time and call him a friend. The dude in the middle, he's decent. Yeah, he's really good. Huh?
Said some toy.
Yeah, he's just some toy. The bottom right. I mean, the bottom though, like those two dudes are like older cats I've been painting for like 20 years probably. And then the top right is me painting, I think the first mural I ever painted with Carlos. You got a lot of pictures in your guy. And the bottom right was the art show that we were able to have.
Oh yeah, that was also, I was gonna ask about that. That's very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just wanted to give a moment to show the art. I will stop sharing now.
Cool. I thought I saw some pictures up there with the Aztec dance.
Were there? Did I miss something?
I think so.
I know there was one slide you may have like skipped over pretty quickly.
It was in the beginning.
So sorry, I very not like tech talented. What did I do? Oh, I found it. Sorry. Technical difficulties. Was it this slide? There are a few.
Oh yeah, it wasn't Aztec dance. I'm sorry. There was one photo with the Aztec dance.
And then maybe if I go, sorry. And then on here we had just a few photos. I think that I just put in the corner.
It was that first one.
Oh, okay.
I was hoping that Ezekiel could kind of explain a little bit about what was going on in that photo on the left, and just kind of like what some of the meaning behind like the regalia is about, and kind of what the purpose of what was happening there.
Sorry, which photo?
The one it's in that second slide, and yeah, he's wearing the headdress.
Yeah, so that was at a naming ceremony. So we had been established by other community groups, like Mashika Tiawi, like several others. I don't remember their names, but they came and we were blessed with the name to carry ceremony for ourselves in there. And that altar, we set up the altar. So when we set up the altar, we do it so we can invite all the ancestors from the natural four elements, earth, fire, wind, and water. And we form a circle, containing what danza is really about. It's about relationship, relationship with Mother Earth, Mother Tonatzin, and with our ancestors, and that's why we call that conch. So in that painting that Marco did, the Aztecs used to blow on that conch, called the ancestors before they went into battle. So when we dance, the mashla, which is what I have, is what a male wears. It's part of the regalia. It's my armor. So when I dance, and at the bottom I have ayotes. So they're like these little rattles that you have they're kind of like bells, I guess you could say, made out of
I think it's a nut that they're made of.
nutshell. But they resemble water. So when you're dancing, you're moving like water, one of the natural elements that give us life. The most important element to human being life is water, So every time we gather together, we dress in our traditional regalia, and the women will dress in long dresses, and then we'll be in our mashlas. And we have some eagle staffs there. So everything we're doing is based off of the appreciation and coming together and acknowledging creation and being one with this. So that was our naming ceremony. I think that was a podcast that me and Carlos did.
That's when you were on OPB.
Yeah, OPB, and then Carlos painted that mural of me out in the community.
Amazing. Thank you for calling back to this, Carlos. I don't know, I missed it. That's awesome. Thank you for telling us about that.
I just like when folks ask us about, like Aztec dance and really like sweat, doing sweat lodge or anything like that. It has such a deeper meaning that like you kind of have to be there and go through it to have that deeper understanding of it, and to understand that it's more than just getting out there and dancing in a circle. There's every dance move has meaning.
Every dancer that we do, which we call like flowers, every flower we do, it's a prayer to God. We're offering our prayers to Mother Earth. We're offering our prayers for our loved ones, and it's our way that we go to church. It's the way that we praise God in the traditional way that our ancestors had been doing for hundreds and hundreds of years.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Is there anything else we want to say on this, or should I stop sharing screen?
That's it. Yeah.
Okay.
Fantastic. I think we're coming to a close on our panel, And I want to say again, thank you all so much for being here today. This has been really amazing. Yeah. Let's see. Sadie, do you have anything to add?
No, we had a few closing questions that we're probably gonna have to cut short, but we did want to just ask, this is a question I think that we remember, but is there anything that y'all want to share with like youth and youth organizations like ours that would help elevate the voices of young incarcerated people in our unjust criminal justice system? We sort of just wanted to ask like, is there anything to share with young voices?
I think for me, you know, it's like I grew up in an environment out in East Monoma County, Rockwood, where I didn't get these services right away. I didn't get connected with mentors like Carlos or organizations like that. You know, I think it's easy for society to deem, to look at a kid as a kid, but when something happens, they want to treat them as an adult now. You know, so I think it's important that we offer our youth alternatives. You know, it's important for kids to understand that, you know, posted on the corner ain't always what it meant out to be. You know, it ain't always that glamorous until, you know, you have to live those real life consequences with either incarceration or death or, you know, losing loved ones. And, you know, so I think it's really important for young people to understand that there's always a choice you got to make, you know. And sometimes, you know, you don't get connected with the right people, but there's organizations like NYP, we out here trying to help people, you know. There's people like that are locked up like Marcos and Blue who are trying to teach guys in there something different, you know. If this even goes to Ivan, you know, he's been connected with Latino Network and to Carlos now, and it's just about finding those right people that are gonna help teach you something better for yourself, you know, not necessarily pull you into the drama, but show you something positive.
Yeah, totally, definitely.
I think from as somebody who runs a nonprofit, for other nonprofits, remember why you're there. You know what I mean? You're there for the younger generations that you basically sworn to serve, you know? That you, like, what's the point of why you started to begin with? Don't lose sight of that. You know, I see that happen all the time. You know, people start following the money, they start going after different things, and they forget about why they even exist in the first place. That's the most important thing, you know? And to listen to that population, you know, keep that authenticity alive, you know, and you know, like you said, you got to listen to the population that you're working with, because that's who you're there for. So you need to know what their concerns are. You need to know what their wants and needs are, and, you know, don't lose sight of your goal.
Definitely. And like what you said about earlier about like I don't know, getting to go to work with like such talented people, and I just think about that as like a good way to stay focused on your goal, I guess, is like think about the people that you're working for.
Yeah. It's a great way to live, you know, to be able to do that for a living, you know.
Does anybody else have anything they'd like to say on that, or anything they'd like to say to the panel before we head out?
Just thank you.
I just want to say it's like an honor to like be able to meet everybody that Carlos works with, because there's some very talented people, and it's really cool to think about like the next generation, you know, of artists, because there's it's crazy because someone brought up Mexica Tiawi, and the fact that there's artists, and I've been a part of a mural where Mexica Tiawi has came and blessed that mural. So to know that there's another generation of danza coming out to be able to bless our murals in the future, like, it's just super cool to think about, you know?
Definitely.
I just wanted to say that I think it's dope that you guys are still trying to do murals out there, even though all this is going on. I mean, art's everywhere, and I think, you know, colors and all that kind of change how people feel, you know?
Yeah.
Just to see an art piece down the street or something can change the whole environment, you know? I feel like this whole world should be filled with art, you know?
Yeah.
That's dope that, you know, Carlos, you're able to do that with Jose and the rest of the dudes that are out there, you know, painting stuff. That's tight. And I also want to say for you guys to tell Jesus I said what's up.
All
Yeah,
right, cool.
yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, you talking about how you did that, just that amazing art during like the last few months was really inspiring to me, because I don't know, like I've been in an artist block, and like hearing about you all like persevering and like using it during this time is really awesome.
If you get an artist block, try another form of art.
That's
It'll
a good.
inspire you with your original form of art.
Or different tools, materials.
Yeah, yep.
I'll totally do that. This is just advice for me now. I'm gonna do that.
She's already thinking. She's like, what should I do?
Ah, there's a little guy jumping in there. What's up, Angel? It's our little homie right there. Our other little artist.
Say what's up.
What's up?
See, we got a couple generations in now.
Tell him we saw some of his work. It's awesome.
All right. Thank you
I want
all.
to thank you all again. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you all so much for being here. Thank you for your words. Thank you for your art. It's been really cool. Once again, this has been panel with some young artists and with the Morpheus Youth Project. My name is Blaine. My pronouns are they, them. I've been hosting this with Sadie. And you can come back tonight for our evening slot where we'll have a young artist performing by the name of Jolly Rapper. So tune in, and thank you all for being here today.
And Carlos, could you shout out, like, or anyone shout out where we can find Morpheus Youth Project?
Yeah, for sure. MorpheusYouth.org. That's our website. You'll find us. Yeah, go ahead.
You can find us on any social media platform, from Facebook to Instagram,
Twitter.
Yeah, Twitter. Hit us up. We out here.
Yeah, Morpheus. Morpheus. One last thing too, I want to give props to our partner organizations like Redstone Collective, Hope Partnership,
Big Bad Hope.
but also the staff at McLaren that helped to kind of facilitate this type of thing for the guys on Dunes to be able to join us. So.
Yeah, totally. Very thankful for them and for you guys. Thank you all for showing up. This is awesome.
Thanks.
And thank you to the interpreters. You guys are the best, and you've made this panel
Thank you.
so accessible.
Big yes.
Thank you.
I don't know what that means, but that's what's up.
I was waiting for this one. I was waiting for that move.